Here's a great question from Jay Stovall. He says, what was Arn's take on C.W. Anderson, who competed in ECW? Was he ever made officially part of the Anderson family?
Not really. I had heard about CW before I ever met him, and I noticed that his style was very similar to mine, more so than to any of the other Andersons, I think, that came before him. I think he patted himself. I think he's left-handed. A lot more, along my style. And I know that I did meet him one night, and he did pull me aside and said, I hope it's okay that I'm, using the gimmick and all that. And I said, CW, you look at my driver's license, it says Lundy. You look at Ole's, it says Rogowski. Gene was the only real Anderson, and all of us, every one of us that came after him, pretty much piggybacked off of Gene's name. So if he allowed all of us to make a living, who am I to say you shouldn't do the same? So if you can make some living, make some money with that gimmick, man, go for it, because your work certainly speaks for itself. And I'd be proud that you are an Anderson.
It's great, man.
Yeah. Liam Evans is up next. We have 2 more questions. Kurt, thanks for answering my questions on the past few shows. I love the interaction. I'm just wondering what it was like to wrestle barefoot for the match against Joe, which we talked about a little bit on here. But again, people are wanting being barefoot.
Well, Samoa Joe, that bastard, he was supposed to go barefoot too. He comes out with wrestling shoes on. He even had his pads on his shins and knees. I was like, holy shit, man, what are you doing? But it was a lot harder. It really was. Having shoes on and having the padding really helps. Gives you a little bit more of a spring. When you're barefoot, you don't have much of a spring. You're walking on bones. So
I don't know how guys do the barefoot thing. Riddle and all these guys.
Crazy.
No way.
I know.
Final question from a wrestling historian. Was this the right time to have Samoa Joe win the title, or would you have dropped it to him sooner? Thanks in advance.
You know what? That's a good question. Samoa Joe, I think we wrestled 4 times. I beat him 3 up until this. I would have said, earlier, Bound for Glory the year before. I think that would have been the right time to do it. But I think that's actually when I won the title. Mm-hmm. So, but you know what? It was the right time, regardless of how long it took Joe to win it. We did it right. We had an MMA style match, and it was Joe's turn to be champion, and he had a great run here.
There you go. Well, guys, listen, we had a lot of fun watching that match together.